stop downplaying what happened to Demetria Kalogeras at Coachella. Multiple witnesses have said that while Demetria Kalogeras was taking photos with a fan, a man came up and smacked her behind, like unsolicited.
I remember walking out of there, I was fucking limping, guys. Like, it was the worst experience of my life. No one gave a shit. Like, everyone around there, like, everyone saw it, no one gave a shit.
Kalogeras Sisters fan base is crossing a line right now, and the way some people are mocking Demetria's trauma is disgusting. Because what happened here isn't something to joke about. This is real life. And what makes it even worse is that this wasn't even the first time Demetria was put in a situation like this. Just months ago, there was already a clip going around of a random stranger trying to touch her while they were on a cruise. Now, before anyone gets defensive, I am not talking about every fan. I'm talking about a group of people who watched Demetria get S.A'd and somehow decided that the right response was mockery, nitpicking, and excuses. This story involves sexual assault. If that is not something that you're able to sit with right now, please take care of yourself and step away if you need to. So here's what happened. The Kalogeras sisters recently spoke out about what happened to Demetria at Coachella, where she was assaulted without her consent. Once people heard what actually happened, a lot of the reaction online was shock. People were calling it horrifying and saying no one should ever have to go through something like that. The sisters shared several stories about their experiences with fans, but one moment stood out immediately because it crossed a serious line.
I never cry. Like, I cry on impact. Like, I'm just starting to cry. And I turn, I'm like, who? And then he is standing there walking away with his girlfriend.
Most of the time, the sisters are extremely polite. They take photos, they engage, they're kind even when they're clearly overwhelmed. But sometimes people don't read the situation at all, and sometimes the people coming up to them aren't even fans. They're just strangers who recognize them and think that that gives them access. And what happened to Demetria at Coachella is exactly that. She explained what really happened that day. She was taking photos with people in a crowded area, just a normal interaction, and then out of nowhere, a grown man walked up and slapped her on the butt without her consent.
No one gave a shit. Like, everyone around there, like, everyone saw it, no one gave a shit. Wait, explain what. Okay, so then I immediately, like, I don't know what went into me, like, I was like big mama, but I ran up to the guy because I knew it was. Demetria didn't know who it was because it was from the back.
She talked about being in shock afterward, crying, shaking, trying to process what just happened. There was a visible mark left on her body that lasted for days. She was scared and overwhelmed, trying to get out of a packed crowd right after something deeply traumatic happened to her. And the fact that all of this happened while she was just trying to exist in public makes it even harder to sit with.
And a slap that I endured that day could literally, if he would have hit me on my face like that, he would have killed me. Like, it would have knocked me out. Yeah. Like, I'm surprised that I was okay. Like, I remember walking out of there, I was fucking limping, guys. Like, it was the worst experience of my life.
What makes this even harder to watch is that this isn't the first time something like this has happened to Demetria. A few months ago, there was already a video going around of a man trying to touch her while they were on a cruise. People saw it and people talked about it, so this wasn't some random one-time situation. She's been targeted before.
I promise, because she thought you were the
I've never told her before.
You were a natural.
Can I see you do it again? No, I can't do that anymore.
No, yes you can. Do it.
Someone on my stuff.
Oh, your stuff. Oh, you were incredible.
Knowing all of that, you would expect nothing but support this time. Instead, a section of the fan base, yes, their own so-called fans, completely missed the point. They brushed it off, made jokes, and started arguing over details like what happened wasn't that serious. One comment said, "Not hate, but she got slapped on her butt, and that is not getting S.A'd. I still feel very bad for her, BTW." I need people to understand how insane that sentence is. You don't get to say, "not hate," and then deny someone's assault. Another comment said, "Why are the comments just critiques? Why is only 15% caring about her?" And that's exactly the problem. Another one said, "I actually feel so terrible for them. They always get sexualized by their fans. They can't have normal interactions without someone being weird, and I just feel SM for them." And then there's this crazy comment, which pretty much sums it up. "It's crazy that no matter what happens to these girls, the haters will still find a way to show how much they hate them, even if something wrong wrong happened to them. And it's crazy because if any of this happened to their favorite influencer or celebrity, it will be beyond outrageous and understandable then. It's ridiculous in this generation. Even if you don't like them, have some human decency to be aware of it instead of acting like what happened is okay when it's not. Exactly. Because let's be real, if this had happened to someone else, the reaction would look completely different. People would be angry, calling it out immediately, and demanding answers. There would be no debate about safety or consent. Because it's them, suddenly people are debating definitions, making jokes, and acting like trauma is up for discussion. Now, why do so many people even hate them in the first place? Because this didn't come out of nowhere. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you probably remember we've actually already talked about some of the reasons people have been trying to get the Kalogeras sisters canceled for a minute now. One of the biggest things people turned on them for was politics. And at one point, they started being accused of being Trump supporters because their mom reposted something Trump-related on Instagram. People immediately tied that to the sisters themselves, even though it wasn't their post. And let's be real, seeing what Trump has been associated with lately, from ICE raids to all the chaos around immigration and forceful acquisition of Greenland, you can understand why people were heated.
Even if I know they came out with a statement saying that their mom liked a photo or whatever before she knew that he was a bad person, whatever, they're from Canada, they didn't know, blah, blah, blah. Even if the mom did know, why are we putting the mom's belief on the child?
But Demetria actually responded to one of those comments and shut it down directly. She said that they are not Trump supporters and not Zionists either. Then there were the bullying accusations. Another group of creators, the S.A'd sisters, started getting death threats. And those threats were coming from the Kalogeras fans, all because people thought the S.A'ds were copying content. And yet, fans took that and ran with it way too far. Then there was this moment, the clip where they were laughing and joking about diabetes.
We got it from chopping. No, you guys know when they're like, this is what's on the chopping.
Can I borrow your bra? I need
Yeah, let me give you my. Look, guys, they sell this cake now, so you guys can get diabetes at Walmart.
The internet did not let that slide. People were upset, and rightfully so. One creator even made a full video calling them out, saying it was gross to joke about something that so many people actually live with every single day. Something that affects real families, real bodies, real lives. So when you stack all of this together, the political accusations, the bullying claims, the unaddressed fan behavior, the insensitive jokes, you start to see why there's already so much tension around them online. And that's exactly why what is happening right now is so messed up. Because even if you don't like them, even if you've criticized them before, even if you've had issues with things that they've said or they've done, none of that justifies mocking someone's none of it. And the fact that people are digging up old issues to brush off what happened to Demetria is where this whole thing stops making sense. Because once people decide that trauma is debatable, you already know where this is headed.